This is Lacy Robertson, the hardest working woman in mortgage and real estate nationwide, and I'm here to bring you this week's report of California companies that will be laying off a significant amount of workforce, where we received and processed their notice between April 10th and April 23rd. I'm a little late this week, but I am catching up. So I am going to again give you a list of California companies where we received and processed their notice between April 10th and April 23rd. Now, if you're new to me, before I ask you to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, you're probably wondering, what does layoff information have to do with mortgage and real estate? I know that's what you do. Tell me more. Well, it was many, many years ago. I was getting ready to purchase a new property. I was excited. I was getting ready to get the asset. The seller was excited. They were getting ready to get the proceeds from the sale of that asset. And I signed loan documents. I go back to work hours later. I find out that myself and 399 other people were getting laid off that day. No warning or anything. You can only imagine what was going on in this mind of mine. I was like, oh my gosh, this loan can't close. I can't buy this house. I don't have a job. All the things was going on in my head. I got on the phone, called my realtor at the time, called my mortgage broker at the time and said, look, you can't fund this loan. I don't have a job. I faxed them over the paperwork. Yes, I said fax. And this was early on. A lot of times we just email documents now, but yes, I faxed over the paperwork. And luckily, I was able to unravel that transaction. Okay. So the loan didn't fund because I didn't have a job, because most of the time I've done every facet of, for the most part, of mortgage and real estate. Just before the loan funds, usually the funder will call your employer and see if you got a job. But I gave them a heads up. I faxed over that paperwork. I don't have a job. You don't even have to call my employer. Today is my separation date. So I did that. But this is the deal. Yes, I did not close on that property. Yes, I was able to unravel the transaction, but I lost money in the process. I didn't get my deposit back. I didn't get money I spent for an appraisal, for a home inspection, for a pest inspection. I didn't get that money back. So there's two reasons why I share this information. One, I want you to know that what would you do differently if there was a possibility that you might get laid off? I mean, would you not go on that shopping spree or go on that lavish vacation? Would you refinance, maybe consolidate some debt? Would you start that new business, write that new book? Like, what does that look like for you? If there was a possibility that you might get laid off, would you dust off your resume, put some fillers out there, see if anybody's hiring in your field? Like, what would you do? So that's one of the reasons why I share the information. I don't want you to get caught off guard like I was. And the second reason why I share the information is I want you to know you don't have to lose your house just because you lost your job or you're facing a financial hardship. Like, I've literally been helping clients for years lower their mortgage payment, make it more affordable so they don't have to exhaust all their savings trying to make their mortgage payment each month. But remember, there's temporary options like a forbearance plan, a repayment plan, but there's more permanent options like a loan modification or refinance. So you got to reach out to me. This help is not automatic. They're not going to knock down your door. They may send you solicitations in the mail if you start to find yourself experience a hardship, maybe if you miss the payment or two. But other than that, your mortgage company doesn't know that you're facing a financial hardship unless you let them know. But there's a certain way you want to let them know. You want to hire me because I've been helping clients for years. I have an amazing success rate. And so if you're saying, Lacy, I don't need to hear this list, just give me your information. Okay, it's in the description, but here you go. The best way to reach me is 714-914-7254. Again, that's 714-914-7254. Or you can feel free, visit my website at modifymenow.com. Okay, and all social media platforms at Go Lacy Robertson. That's Lacy without an E and Robertson with a T. So just so you know, I'm going to give you a list of the companies, right? I'm going to do this in alphabetical order of the company name. I'm going to give you the date they're laying off. I'm going to give you the name of the company, of course, how many. I'm going to let you know if this layoff is temporary, if it's permanent, kind of give you some information there. And then I'm also going to give you the address. Now, if I happen to pass where the letter that your company starts with, that's what I'm trying to say. If I pass that and you've kind of been hearing whispers, but you're not sure, I want you to go look at my past videos, because maybe I've already talked about them, right? Maybe I've already disclosed that. Maybe we got the notice sooner. So I want to make sure that you do that. Now I don't know what I did here. Oh my. Um, 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 Hold on. It's something crazy just now. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So let me get through this. I like to tell you guys how many entries I have. I have 81 because I missed a week. So this is 2 weeks worth of information. So I have 81, but that doesn't mean there's 81 different companies. That just means that I have 81 entries. So that means some companies are laying off either multiple days or at multiple offices. Okay. I'm going to try to get through this as fast as I can. But again, I desire to create value. Okay, so June 23rd, you have BMP Plastics. DBA is Advanced Plastics. They're closing permanently. They're laying off 77 people at 225 West 30th Street in National City. We have June 16th, Burlington Quarter Circle is laying off permanently 8 people at 33 Harlow Court in Napa. May 1st, Blue Shield of California is laying off in multiple offices. Okay, so bear with me. I'm going to go down the list here. May 1st, Blue Shield of California is laying off permanently 24 people at 601 12th Street in Oakland. May 1st, Blue Shield laying off permanently 17 people at 4203 Town Center Boulevard, Building C in El Dorado Hills. May 1st, Blue Shield of California laying off permanently 18 people at 4205 Town Center Boulevard, Building B in El Dorado. You have May 1st, Blue Shield of California laying off permanently 16 people at 3840 Kilroy Airport Way in Long Beach. May 1st, Blue Shield of California laying off permanently 10 people at 6300 Canoga Avenue in Woodland Hills. In May 1st, Blue Shield of California laying off permanently 10 people at 3300 Zinfandel Drive, Building A in Rancho Cordova. May 1st, Blue Shield of California laying off permanently 3 people at 3300. Let me see, did I just say that one? 300 Zinfandel Drive, Building B. Okay, that's the difference. One is Building A, the next one's Building B in Rancho Cordova. May 1st, Blue Shield of California is laying off permanently 5 people at 3131 Camino del Real, Suite 1300 in San Diego. May 1st, Blue Shield of California laying off permanently 7 people at 3021 Reynolds Ranch Parkway in Lodi. And then May 1st, Blue Shield of California laying off permanently 3 people at 4700 Becelli Lane in Reading. You have May 3rd, Boston Scientific Corporation is closing permanently. They're laying off 63 people at 1213 Innsbruck Drive in Sunnyvale. June 16th, Bronco Wine Company, Bivio Transport and Logistics, say that fast 10 times, is laying off permanently 146 people at 6342 Bisram Road in Ceres. June 15th, Case Paper Company, Inc. is closing permanently, laying off 18 people at 9168 Hermosa Avenue in Rancho Cordova. June 2nd, Confluent Medical Technologies is laying off permanently 102 people at 47533 Westinghouse Drive in Fremont. July 1st, Davis Street Community Center closing permanently, laying off 8 people at 14300 Bancroft Avenue in San Leandro. June 16th, GMRI, also known as Eddie V's, is closing permanently 61 people at 1370 Bison Avenue in Newport Beach. I just passed that restaurant today, just a few minutes ago. June 16th, Illumina Inc. worldwide headquarters is laying off permanently 172 people at 5200 Illumina Way in San Diego. June 14th, Jones Lang LaSalle Americas Inc. is laying off permanently 70 people at 3923 B Street in Stockton. June 14th, Jones Lang LaSalle Americas laying off permanently 87 people at 3575 South Orange Avenue in Fresno. June 14th, Jones Lang LaSalle Americas is laying off permanently 77 people at 4900 West Elkhorn Boulevard in Sacramento. And then June 14th, again, Jones Lang LaSalle Americas Inc. is laying off permanently 64 people at 8817 West Kibler Avenue in Visalia. You have June 10th, Legoland California Resort is laying off permanently 2 people at 1 Legoland Drive in Carlsbad. July 1st, MMCI Acquisition, also known as Mortec Manufacturing Company, is closing permanently, laying off 19 people at 411 Aerojet Avenue in Azusa. June 17th, NV Transportation is laying off permanently 463 people at 305 Via del Norte in Oceanside. June 17th, NV Transportation is laying off permanently 14 people at 755 Norlac Avenue in Escondido. June 8th, Pacific Biosciences of California is laying off permanently 70 people at 1305 O'Brien Drive in Menlo Park. You have June 17th, Primo Brands. They are laying off several people at different locations on June 17th. Primo Brands is closing permanently, laying off 7 people at 4520 North Baldwin Avenue in El Monte. June 17th, Primo Brands laying off permanently 7 people at 2712 Civic Center Drive in Lake Forest. June 17th, Primo Brands closing permanently, laying off 3 people at 8025 Engineer Road in San Diego. June 17th, Primo Brands laying off permanently 4 people at 811 Highway 67 in Lakeside. June 17th, Primo Brands closing permanently, laying off 13 people at 13109 South Budlong Avenue in Gardena. And June 17th, Primo Brands closing permanently, laying off 4 people at 340 Irving Drive in Oxnard. Now we have on June, several different dates in June, company called Right at School LLC. So I got a lot of entries for this one. Bear with me. This is a big one. Kind of reminds me of when I had the 99-cent store. I was like, 99-cent store, 99-cent store, 99-cent store. So this one is Right at School LLC. We're starting with June 9th. June 9th, June 9th. Here we go. Get the top of the list here. Right at School, laying off permanently 7 people at 253 Martins Avenue, Amy Emai Elementary, Mountain View. That's long. June 9th, Right at School is laying off permanently 9 people at 525 Hands Avenue in Mountain View. June 9th, Right at School is laying off 3 people at 115 West Dana Street in Mountain View. June 9th, Right at School is laying off permanently 20 people at 505 Escuela Avenue in Mountain View. June 9th, Right at School is laying off permanently 5 people at 220 North Wissam Road in Mountain View. June 9th, Right at School laying off permanently 9 people at 500 Toft Street in Mountain View. June 9th, Right at School laying off permanently 9 people at 460 Thompson Avenue in Mountain View. June 9th, Right at School laying off permanently 5 people at 750 Sandpier Way in Mountain View. June 9th, Right at School laying off permanently 4 people at 1625 St. Louis Avenue in Mountain View. On June 10th, Rite Schools laying off permanently 15 people at 250 Roswell Drive in Milpitas. June 10th, Rite Schools laying off permanently 14 people at 140 North Abbott Avenue in Milpitas. June 10th, Rite Schools laying off permanently 7 people at 275 Redwood Avenue in Milpitas. June 10th, Rite School laying off permanently 11 people at 2025 Yellowstone Avenue in Milpitas. June 10th, Rite School laying off permanently 12 people at 345 Boulder Street in Milpitas. June 10th, Rite School laying off permanently 15 people at 1750 McCandless Drive in Milpitas. June 10th, Rite School laying off permanently 12 people at 1505 Escuela Parkway in Milpitas. June 10th, Rite Schools laying off permanently 10 people at 1585 Fallen Leaf Drive in Milpitas. June 10th, Rite School laying off permanently 19 people at 1300 Edsel Drive in Milpitas. And June 10th, Rite School laying off permanently 14 people at 400 Fannin Street in Milpitas. June 18th, Rite School laying off permanently 1 person at 1400 Montecito Avenue in Mountain View. June 18th, Rite School laying off permanently 1 person at 1331 East Calaveras Boulevard in Milpitas. June 18th, Rite Schools closing permanently 1 person at closing permanently, laying off 1 person at 2490 Hillborn Road in Fairfield. You have June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 3 people at 1600 Kidder Avenue in Fairfield. June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 3 people at 3301 Cherry Hills Court in Fairfield. June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 8 people at 4770 Canyon Hills Drive in Fairfield. June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 2 people at 400 Whispering Bay Lane in Suisun City. June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 16 people at 301 East Alaska Avenue in Fairfield. June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 8 people at 830 First Street in Fairfield. June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 5 people at 1350 Gold Hill Road in Fairfield. June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 11 people at 2001 Winston Drive in Fairfield. June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 2 people at 100 Civic Center Drive in Fairfield. June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 5 people at 570 Vintage Valley Drive in Fairfield. June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 4 people at 700 Oakbrook Drive in Fairfield. June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 2 people at 230 Atlantic Avenue in Fairfield. June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 3 people at 1901 Woolner Avenue in Fairfield. And June 9th, Rite School closing permanently, laying off 3 people at 975 Blossom Avenue in Fairfield. June 20th, RTX layoff is permanent, laying off 1 person at 2022 East El Segundo Boulevard in El Segundo. June 20th, RTX is laying off permanently 2 people at 2000 East El Segundo Boulevard, building E01 in El Segundo. And you have June 20th, RTX is laying off permanently 1 person at 2006 East El Segundo Boulevard, building E04 in El Segundo. You have June 15th of 2026, looks like. Really? Okay, we got a year in advance. June 15th, 2026, Spreckles Sugar Company is closing permanently, laying off 394 people at 395 West Keystone Road in Brawley. Hopefully that's not a typo there, but it's happening on June 15th, this year or next year, but it says next year. June 17th, SSP America is laying off permanently 105 people at 6900 Airport Boulevard in Sacramento. June 19th, TC&J's Enterprises, also known as Chick-fil-A, is closing temporarily. Listen up, this is just a temporary closure here. And they're laying off 35 people at 15600 Whittier Boulevard in Whittier. You have June 19th, TC&J's Enterprises, which is also known as Chick-fil-A, is closing temporarily, laying off 58 people at 1801 West Imperial Highway in La Habra. June 30th, the Coca-Cola Company, closing permanently, laying off 135 people at 120 Commerce Boulevard in American Canyon. June 30th, Transit America Services, Inc., laying off permanently 17 people at 9130 Anaheim Place, Suite 230 in Rancho Cucamonga. And June 3rd, True Food Kitchen, closing permanently, laying off 82 people at 395 Santa Monica Place, Suite 172 in Santa Monica. Last, not least, definitely not least, June 23rd, YMCA of San Diego County is laying off permanently 27 people at 3708 Ruffin Road in San Diego. Now, that's the end of our list of California companies that will be laying off a significant amount of workforce where we received and processed their notice between April 10th and April 23rd. Now, remember, if you've experienced a loss of income due to a death, divorce, illness, injury, layoff, or natural disaster, I need you to give me a call. There's options available. You don't have to lose your house just because you lost your job or you're facing a financial hardship. I've literally been helping clients for years. You know it. Lower their mortgage payment, make it more affordable, avoid foreclosure. I do all of that stuff. Now, whether you want to, buy, sell, finance, refinance, I do it all. But when life deals you lemon, I help you make lemonade by helping you avoid foreclosure if you're experiencing financial hardship. Now, I'm Lacy Robertson. I'm the hardest working woman in mortgage and real estate nationwide. Feel free to give me a call for all your mortgage and real estate needs at 714-914-7254. Reminding you to follow me on all social media platforms at Go Lacy Robertson. That's Lacy without an E and Robertson with a T. Now, don't forget, again, I'm Lacy Robertson. Call me. The hardest working woman in mortgage and real estate nationwide. I look forward to working with you and for you. And until then, I want you to have a blessed day. Bye-bye.